7 years ago, when I was moving to Germany on job seeker visa, I didn't know whether it's a right move for me or not. A lot of my friends were moving to different other countries, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, right? So I had a lot of questions regarding salary, savings, lifestyle, health system, education, and many more. But there was no clear guidance available to me at that point of time. I started researching on internet, on different websites, on different blogs. And all the information at that point of time was scattered all over the place. And I researched a lot about all those things. And then finally, I made my decision. And today, when I look back and think about it, I can tell you that it was the good decision for me at that point of time. In this video, I'm going to share all my experiences, all my knowledge, and all my thoughts on all those areas. So today's video is going to be a little bit detailed. Based on my thoughts, based on my views, you will get all the information required, and then you can decide for yourself whether you want to move to Germany or whether you want to move to other country. So before we proceed further, let me remind you to subscribe below, enable the bell notifications so that you don't miss any updates from me on this channel. You can also follow me on my social media pages. Links for all of them are given in the description below. Let's dive into today's video. The very first point I want to speak about is salary. It depends on many factors, from what kind of background you are coming from, what is your experience level, what is your education, are you from tech or non-tech side, do you speak the German language or you don't speak the German language, do you hold the master degree or do you only hold the bachelor degree, which employer are you going to join, which city are you going to work in, what is the salary budget of that employer. So considering all these factors, your salary may vary. Let me tell you in a little bit more detail. Let us assume you are coming from SAP background, because SAP guys are definitely paid here exceptionally high salary. I have seen this after working with many clients, many people, many professionals. When they moved here, they got very high salary. If I talk about data scientists, software developer, automation engineers, or guys from design engineering, hardware, telecommunication. So these are the fields where you will be paid still a good salary. But it is going to be a little bit less when you compare it with the guys coming from SAP background. So it doesn't mean that you will not do well if you are coming from these backgrounds. You will definitely do very well in any city you are coming to. You are going to work with at least a decent employer. So you should be fine on that front. If I talk about in terms of experience, if you are from experience range of 2 to 5 years, then I can tell you can easily shoot a salary between 55 to 65,000 euros per year. So it all depends on other factors as well, which I'm going to mention very quickly. And if you are having experience somewhere between 5 to 10 years of range, then you can shoot for the salary range somewhere between 65 to 75,000 euros per year. So which is a decent amount, I can tell you. Tech salaries are going to be little bit higher compared to non-tech sectors. Though there are some exceptional sectors. For example, I was talking to some guy a few days back that he's into investment banking. I would say he got a very good salary in that field. Even I talk about pharma sector, there are also a decent amount of salaries are available in the market. For example, if you're coming from pharmacovigilance, that's in very high demand. A lot of English jobs are available and salaries are very high. In case you speak the German language, then you have better chances to get the good salary, because then you can target many more jobs compared to when you have less number of jobs to target when you speak English only, right? When you have more options, more choices, then you might have more than one offers, definitely. So then you can choose between the companies, which company you want to go with depending on other factors and including salaries, and then you can decide accordingly. Some employers give weightage to your master degree compared to bachelor. So if there are two guys with a similar experience, similar background, one is having bachelor, other is having master degree, then the professional with the master degree might get more preference if both the guys are same, and might get the higher salary compared to the other person who holds only bachelor degree. But finally, I want to say not all the employers are same. Every employer has its own budget, right? So that means it's not that you quote same salary to every employer. Let us assume any employer is looking for a Java developer in Munich having 5 years of experience, then you might get a salary somewhere between 65 or 70,000 euros annually. And if I talk about Berlin, then let us assume it's a startup, and you might get a salary range of 55,000 in Berlin. But it is not a standard case. There are many companies in Berlin also which pay you very well. It's only that you have to research the budget of that employer, and accordingly you can decide what salary you want to quote to that employer. So major factor that you have to consider when you are quoting the salary is that what is the budget of the employer, in which city is the employer located, and whether it's a startup or MNC. If I talk about the salaries in MNCs, most of the companies except out of the FANG category do not pay exceptionally high salaries, but yes, they definitely pay good or decent salaries. Let's proceed further on to the next point. Second point I want to talk about is expenses. Expenses vary a lot depending on your situation. Whether you are single, whether you are married, whether you are living in big city, whether you are living in small city, whether you are living inside the city, or whether you are living outside the city. Do you have kids or you don't have the kids? So considering all these factors, your living expenses are going to vary. So I'm going to talk about all the three categories: single, married, and married with kids. And I will give you the broader ranges, so accordingly you can decide which range you might fall into. If you are single, I'm going to tell you the living expenses based on certain factors, such as whether you are living in a small city or big city, you are living in a shared apartment or studio apartment, are you a party guy or not. Based on these factors, you can decide what will be your living expenses. So the range would be, considering all these things, the lowest amount would be 800 euros, and the highest can be 14 to 1500, or even more if you are on the party side, or if you want to live in 2-room apartment or 3-room apartment. So amount will keep on increasing accordingly. If you're married without kids, living in a big city or small city, living inside the city or outside the city, you will be fine between the range of 2000 to 2400 euros per month, considering you are living in a medium to nice apartment of 2 to 2.5 rooms in the apartment. And this figure I'm telling you based on certain other expenses that you might want to consider, but they are included in this range, such as how much you are eating out, are you a party people, and you may include other miscellaneous things. And if I talk about travel, you can travel around the city, so that's not a big thing. It's not going to be very, very expensive. But travel outside the city or a different country is going to have additional expenses. So you have to consider those factors also. In case you are married with a kid, then you can consider your expenses somewhere between 2300 to 2700 euros. Considering you are again living in a medium to nice apartment of 2 rooms to 2.5 rooms. And I have also considered the factor that your kid is going to public kindergarten. In case your kid goes to private kindergarten, then you can include additional expenses which may vary between 200 to or maybe 1000 euros per month. So you have to see accordingly. But it is definitely possible that you can get the public kindergarten after waiting for 3 to 6 months or maybe 8 to 9 months. So it is possible to get the kindergarten in this range with time. So you should be fine. You don't have to target the private kindergarten unless you don't have special preferences. In case you have a kid who is older than 6 years, then let us consider he is going to public school, then your fee might vary between 50 to 100 euros. Again, if you consider to send him or her to the private school, then the fee is going to be very, very high. So you can think accordingly. Before I proceed further into the video, let me tell you that you can also sign up for my free live masterclass by clicking the link above. In case you are searching for a job and you are not getting the interview calls and facing lot of challenges, then you are going to get all your answers in this class and you are going to get hired, get those interview calls as soon as possible after applying the techniques that I'm going to share in that class. Let's proceed further into the video. Next point I want to speak about is kids education. Whether you have a small child at home who is 6 to 8 months or 1 year, then you can send her or him to nursery or crutch. They are called as Kinderkrippe in Germany. So they go to that crutch, play with the kids and some other things which I'm going to tell you very quickly. You can send your child to Kinderkrippe until 3 years of age. Post 3 years of age, kids go to kindergarten until the 6 years of age. And after 6 years, from 7th year onwards, when they start into 7th year, they go to school. So that's the how education system works here at the basically below elementary level. So both public and private kindergarten options or kindergarten options are there. You can see accordingly for yourself based on your situation where you are getting the seat and where you are not getting the seat. You can also watch my video here where I have talked about kindergartens in very much detail about public and private kindergartens, how much is the fee and all other details. So let me tell you the advantages of sending your child to kinderkrippe or nursery. So in case you have this child who is 1 year of age, then you send him to the kinderkrippe, then they are going to interact with other kids where they will talk to each other, learn from each other. They will learn to eat themselves and they will play around inside the kinderkrippe, outside the kinderkrippe, in the gardens. And the good thing is that every day those caretakers are taking them out and show them around supermarkets or maybe construction work, libraries, or some other clinics maybe. So there could be anything. So it's a great learning experience for them. Same is the case with the kindergarten and schools. Your child goes there. In the kindergarten, your child can remain until 5 in the evening, like in kinderkrippe, 5 or 6. And mostly schools are until 1 p.m. It might be like 30 minutes here and there, but yes, generally 1 p.m. is the standard time that what I have seen. Another practical thing about kindergarten or school is that they learn new things. They go out sometimes, they go to zoo, they go to banks, they go to post office, they see how system works there and they learn all those things in at a very smaller age. So which is very good for them in the long run. Regarding schooling, I'm going to tell you a very critical fact here, which is very, very important for your kids. As I said, education system is practical. Kids are going out every now and then. They go to parks, they go to zoo, they go to certain other places, like I said before, banks, post office, or certain other places. Okay. And for example, it could be anything. Okay. So now the point is they are going out, they have experience traveling in a train, for example, when they are going out with their teachers, with their other friends. Okay. So the point what I'm going to make is that they are going to see everything practically. Okay. And what might happen next day or maybe later, your kid might be asked to explain that day, like how was it, what did you enjoy, what did you like, or for example, yesterday it was a snow. Can you explain how was the day yesterday? We went out. Did you like it? You didn't like it? What especially did you like and what especially you didn't like and why you didn't like it? Okay, I'm just giving you some random examples. So it could be anything your child might be asked. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that your kid is going to school and he's interacting and he's going to answer these things, tell this thing to his or her teacher next day or after few days. And yeah, it's not going to happen every day, but yes, sometimes they ask randomly to some kids. Okay, then what will happen? Your kid has to answer all those questions, have to explain how was it, how the weather works, what how many seasons are there, or it could be anything. Then the point is that your kid must be, when your child goes to school, let's say he's into second class. Okay, so this thing starts from the second class itself. So your child must be able to communicate well, especially in German. So he must be able to listen, understand, read, write, and speak in German very well, so that he's doing well in his studies. He's able to explain himself, he's able to understand his teachers. So that's very, very important. So, in case you are planning to move and your child is still smaller, it is okay. You can start their classes, start learning German, or even you moved here and it is good for you. You yourself start learning German immediately, because you might need to help your child in his or her studies and explain him or her all these things. Okay, for people whose kids are little older, for example in the third class, fourth class, or maybe seventh or eighth class, for those it might not be a big issue, because when they move here, then there is a special provision in the schooling system. They take a test of your child, based on what standard your child came from, and then they will take the test and they will decide, okay, he fits into this level. So most probably your kid will be into the same class what he studied, what he passed in the previous year in your home country. Okay, but additional thing will be that when they start studying here, then school will have additional German classes for them for first 6 months. So don't worry, in that case this is not going to be a big issue for you. But yes, for the smaller kids up till let's say who are 6 years, 7 years, or 8 years, for them that's a little bit difficult. So you can decide and plan accordingly. I'm not saying that it is not possible. It is all manageable if you plan very well in advance. So you will do fine in that case. Next point I'm going to talk about is lifestyle. It's a very wide word, I would say, because everyone has his own definition of lifestyle, right? So for someone, lifestyle might have a different meaning. Level of luxury might be different. Level of facilities you are looking for might be different for you or for someone else. So I'm going to tell you from the viewpoint somebody who is going to office from 9 to 6, have a family at home, have a kid, child, and then you want to enjoy your life, you want to enjoy over the weekend, and want to travel around Europe from time to time, and you want to afford a car. I'm going to talk from that point of view only. Most of the things will be in your range, whether I talk about travel, sports, gym, swimming clubs, expensive gears, mobile, cars, decent public transport, international holidays, and ski sports or other winter related sports which you can think of. You might be able to afford all these things in your home country itself. Okay, but then the price you are going to pay, the expenses you are going to have for all these things together versus salary that you are getting in your home country. So the ratio, what I'm talking about, salary versus expenses, if I talk about all these things, is little bit unbalanced in Asian countries, in India, or maybe some other nearby countries. But when you come here, live in these European countries, especially if I talk about Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, or some other countries, then the ratio of your salary versus expenses is balanced, and you will not have to struggle a lot to go for all these things. So all of these things will be mostly in your budget, in the range. So you shouldn't be worried, you shouldn't be bothered about that. Next point, I want to speak about health system. I will be speaking very briefly about the health system here. If you are looking for the detailed information, you can watch this video here. During your research, you might have already observed that German health system is one of the top health system in the world. And during this pandemic time, it is all visible to the world how well Germany has managed this situation, and it is still doing well. So it is definitely one of the best health systems in the world. I'm going to speak about public health system. So basically, if you are insured by the public health insurance, then all your treatments will be covered by public health insurance. For example, you are hospitalized, you got some illness, or a child is born, or due to any XYZ reason, you need a treatment. So the good thing is that most things are covered in such situations, and you will not be robbed by the hospitals or by any other health entity. But except if you are looking for a cosmetic treatment, for example, for your eyes or for your ears or something else, then definitely you have to pay it out of your pocket. So these exceptions are always there everywhere. It's even in India as well as in other countries. Even when you visit a doctor here, you don't have to pay for any consultation. When I compare it with US or some other countries, you have to still, if you are covered by the insurance, you still have to pay for your insurance visits to the doctor for the consultation. But here, all the consultations are covered by the insurance. Or if I talk about medicines, most of the medicines are covered if it has been prescribed by the doctor. You might have to pay nominal charges between 5 to 10 euros, if I remember, 5 to 10 or 5 to 15 euros. Then the rest will be covered by the insurance, provided the medicine has been prescribed by the doctor to you. Other tests such as X rays, MRIs, CT scans, or other tests prescribed by the dentist or doctor or some other physicians are covered by the insurance. So, in all these cases, when you are going for your tests, what I have seen, what I have observed, you don't have to pay anything for all these tests. So, which is a good thing overall. And yeah, basically, even you got a critical illness and there has been a huge surgery and or multiple operations, and you have been in the hospital for, let's say, a month or so, and you pay nominally between 200 to 400 euros depending on how many days you stayed in that hospital. Even there are certain additional insurances which I have talked in that video, which you can also watch, which includes all other things related to your job, your employment insurance, your when you are going out, you have an accident, your child has spoiled somebody's car or something else, then you will be covered in all those cases. This is all I have in today's video. Give a thumbs up or comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Have a good day.